Welcome to the first edition of On the Sofa. We've got the immense pleasure of having Dele Sosimi on the sofa. We're going to chat a bit about music, influence, all kinds of stuff. Thank you for being here, Dele.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Hello, everybody. How you all doing?
So yeah, we were just a bit chatting offline about, because you've been a Londoner for 20 years.
More
22
than that? 22 years.
22 years. So you know the scene very, very much.
I think so.
Yeah.
I know a lot of it. Most of it, at least around London.
And we were talking about, because I found out about you through the gigs you were doing with Kuti, Afrobeat Vibration, and the stuff that was happening at the New Empowering Church.
Yes.
And
yes.
that was the real deal. Late night jams. Can you tell us a bit about what was the vibe and how it was back then?
Being an independent artist, I had to look at how do I didn't grow up here in the UK. I spent my formative years, developmental years in Lagos, Nigeria, working with Fela. And his template, when I joined the Egypt 18, was very simple. He managed to get himself a venue that he owned. He leased the venue and he created theme nights. We would start performance on a Friday. We would play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday. And those nights were themed. So those 4 nights, we were doing like 50 weeks a year. And people wonder how Africa 70 used to be really tight. Egypt 80 was tight, you know. When a band is working together 50 weeks a year, by the time you work together for the first year, the second year, third year, fourth year, anywhere you play, you'll be as tight as, you know. And then the evolution, the communication in between musicians, everything was, you know, top. And when I moved to the UK, I had to find a way to become relevant, to build an audience base, and also to build up the group of musicians I found myself working with. And then the idea of finding a venue that would give us the opportunity to say, okay, we want to play a 4-hour straight set. We will only do it once every 2 months, so it will be exclusive and it will be rare. It's a way of keeping constantly, at least even if we don't have a gig, we don't get booked for any outside gigs, we are evolving, we are building that camaraderie musically, communication musically. Mm-hmm. And before you knew it, everybody was like, yeah, let's do it. So I found Empowering Church.
Yeah.
We did the first one, it was a success. We did the second one, it was a success. And then we said, okay, every 2 months we do it. As we started. Then it got closed down.
And then the trouble started. London at the moment, it's difficult.
Yeah.
We were discussing about it before with like, it's hard to find places that have like got late licenses, because that's when the magic happens. That's when you guys warm up for 4 hours, and it's like from 2 a.m. that things really kind of take.
From 2 a.m. everybody's like, you know, initially 4 hours is a long time to just play straight and just throw down the set, you know. But we became used to it, and the audience started to, and it was cheap, because it was not about making money. It was about having a place to actually evolve, develop the group of people I was playing with. And when I recruit new people, that is the way you throw them in the deep end. So you either swim or drown. And when nobody drowned, but they dog paddled until they could then, you know, and be like, okay, now I can do the backstroke, I can do the butterfly, you know, and all that.
Is it important for you to have like one place to grow something?
Yeah, it's good.
Because I guess like get a community around you.
Yeah, because then it becomes like a family thing. Okay, this is your home turf. This is where you evolve things. Right. You bounce your ideas. When I write a new song, I play it there. Watch the reaction. I feel it. And then during the performance, each performance opens up new channels. And I make sure I make my notes, mental notes, written notes, and live recordings, listen back, what worked, what didn't work, and note inspirations. Because when you're listening to playback, sometimes you get the illumination to take things further or to bend, to tweak. So all these notes it was very helpful in getting to where I'm at today.
I don't know if it was what you were trying to achieve in London, but to recreate this, because this sounds like an ideal scenario, what Fela created.
Yeah.
Having a venue to do things in his own terms, and you described me like the breakdown of what happened every day, and it's something for everyone.
Yeah.
One is for the ladies, one is for the family, all that stuff is happening all in one roof.
If I had the money, I would have just gone and leased the venue.
It
was a dream. But I know the financial implications, responsibilities, and the laws here with health and safety, fire, all those things.
It's
I'm
difficult.
a musician. I don't want to be responsible for all those stuff.
And you please don't go into religious.
I just want to
concentrate on the music.
I want to put the band in a nice venue. Come on, let's play, and then
But you do also you managed to create a sense of community with other things. You were saying you were teaching in some universities.
Yeah, I've been teaching, and not only that, there's a group of other musicians. I mean, you know about me. I'm collaborating with all of us musicians who are, because in my band, I've got about 3 or 4 band leaders working with me who have their own separate projects too.
Yeah.
And we're all playing within the same circuit. And I have friends who also have their own bands who we've collaborated together. We've done, I have a project called Cube Afrobeat with Kishon Khan. I don't know if you've heard of
Kishon.
Yeah, you've heard of Lokitera?
I haven't, but I've seen him play.
That's his band.
Okay.
Lokitera, Mutimba.
Right. Yeah.
You've heard of Soothsayers.
Getting me there.
You've heard of Afro Sport.
That rings the bell.
Kojovi Kush.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So all this group of musicians, Tanzayoma. Yeah, we know each other and we have a collective. We are bouncing ideas at each other. We're watching out for each other because we're all independent. Now I'm signed to a record label, but we were all independent and we know the importance of being a collective.
Community and
being a collective and supporting each other and bouncing ideas and sharing ideas. And I did a LSA event, London School of Afrobeat event at the Forge. The first premier event was on the last Saturday in March, which I featured Kokoroko, which is an all-girl Afrobeat band. And I just presented them. We talk about the theme of the event was Yoruba in Afrobeat, the linguistics aspect of it. Let's discuss. And through that, I brought in some professors of ethnomusicology from Cardiff University, from SOAS, and then a few other people in the audience to contribute and talk about it, just discuss. And then after that, play some music featuring me with Kokoroko and another great friend of mine, Afla Saki, who has his own band called Afrik Bawanti. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Master percussion player. I love him. So all these little things, giving back to the community. I've been to Trinity Laban to inspire the kids who are interested in Afrobeat, talk to them, mentor them, take them to deconstruct a classic Afrobeat tune, put it back together, see how the mechanics work, how everything works with each other, and inspire them enough to come out of uni and start exploring, exploring their own take on Afrobeat. So those kind of things those are the rewards that finance cannot give you.
Absolutely.
No matter how much money you make, that kind of joy does not come.
And do you feel that sometimes, because of you pass on that tradition of Afrobeat and explain how it works, all the structure of it, but do you feel that sometimes, do you get some of your students come up with something new that will not add up but just kind of twist the genre?
They've twisted, everybody comes up with their own interpretation and I don't interfere because the thought process depends really on your foundation, and it's your foundation that will make you lean towards whichever direction you want to take whatever you're giving. And I don't think it's fair to spoon feed someone and say, this is what you want to do. I'll just break it down. This is how we do it. It will trigger off a chain reaction of all kinds of thoughts. And then when the filtering process brings out a creation, it could be anything. And in the art form, you have to let art go. Don't pin it down, don't rein it in. Go for it. And I'm like, Is that what you hear? Is that what you see? Go for it. You know, and see it through. And I love it. Yeah, I mean, my style of writing over the years has gone through stages, evolution, you know, and I can hand on heart say I'm proud of what I've been able to do. I mean, it's each work is comparable, and you go, oh, this sounds, wow, this is going somewhere else here. Oh, I wonder what he was thinking now, you know, and it goes on and on and on and on. But it's not rocket science, but if you're creative, you will always be a creative. You know?
So I guess it's so you give the base of like the Afrobeat, and then every individual expresses himself through this template. But so how do you feel about the term world music? It seems like it's something that's more and more questionable because everyone's got different influences or from different backgrounds. Yeah. How do you feel that Afrobeat kind of sits within this world music title? Because it's
I don't know why they just brought that world music thing, because everything is just, they just make a big rectangle. Anything they can define, put in. Yeah. Anything does not fit pop, rock, jazz, reggae. Even reggae is not world music. You know that.
Yeah, it's got its own thing.
Yeah, reggae.
Just the rest of it is like, oh, where do we put this in?
Yeah, anything they can. World music.
Yeah.
Music from China, world music. Music from Japan, world music.
Yeah.
But the musicality, check out the music, break it down, put it back together. That's why London School of Afrobeat will continue to encourage young, you know, I continue to go into universities, offer master classes, offer one-on-one sessions, offer group sessions, you know, and because there are many young musicians who are in institutions who are not actually prepared for the real world. And when I go, I always encourage them. You see, whilst you're in school and you're learning the history of music and all the other aspects that you need to learn, you need to also keep active within your locality. You're learning to become musicians in the future. Now is the time to be within the community of where you are at. Whilst you're here, put some things together so that you can have University of Southampton music jamboree during summer, and maybe hire the Carnegie Hall if it so exists, or hire blah blah hall, and then you have a whole day fiesta. Your students charge £2. Discuss with the venue. If you're students and you go to a venue which would normally be empty on a Sunday, and you propose them, look, we're bringing a whole day of festivity, and I give them these ideas to, you know, because once they start to get recognition and say, oh, that's Dele Sosimi playing the piano. Yeah, we know him. He used to run nights here while he was in uni. Oh, that's Justin Tog on trombone. I know him. I remember him from when he used to. But you've already done the groundwork. So when you come out of uni and you put a band together within that locality of the community, you know, you already have a following whom they say, I remember that guy. Oh, let's go check him out. You know. But if you start late, where do you start from? Are you even conversant with what to do out there at venue requirements, you know, how to sell yourself, negotiate with the venue.
Those things evolved as well, and they're very timely. For example, I'm sure the gigs that you were doing in Young Punk Church is a different dynamic than it is today with all the venues shutting early or just shutting different.
But I had to learn. If I had grown up here with the experience, I would have built something.
Yeah, so you're playing Borderless Festival in September, I believe, with all kinds of different cultures represented in that gig. Are you looking like?
I'm looking forward to it because it is representative of some of the experiences I've had since being based here in the UK about music is a universal language. Music is universal because it's borderless. It's not about race. It's not about color. Music is about art, art form, expression, artistic expression, and you find out it's a bridge. It builds bridges. It bridges communities, it bridges peoples, as in P-E-O-P-L-E-S, peoples. You could be urgent. One thing I have always used as an example, if you put a musician from Nigeria together with a musician from Cameroon and a musician from Togo and a musician from China and Japan, and put them together in a room, jam, they will be able to communicate, they will be able to create, they will be able to feel off each other, they will be able to produce something no one has heard before. And you see, I believe being able to be part of Borderless, which is featuring a whole range. I've looked at the lineup and I'm really impressed with the lineup. I'm like, yes, about time.
Based off also you're sending that message and showing that to other people that it's really not about pigeonholing things and having ideas of what this should look like or sound like. It's really just about expression.
Remix. It's a new thing that I've just decided that, you know what, we have to talk about remixes because it's another take. It's another thing. It's not about color. It's not about anything other than another person's take on an existing work. I've got an album out called You Know Fit Touchan. Was released last year, May 24. And that album now, a new dub version by Prince Party is coming out, on the 29th of July. So that's another, it's not a remix, but it's a dub version of these same, so there are different elements being brought into an existing creation. So it's also in line with Borderless, you can't pigeonhole, anything can happen. So yes.
Are you going to perform something with Prince Patty at some point, or is it just literally just production?
Literally the production. Right. I'm inspired now because I've listened to his take on now, I've heard how I'm inspired to start exploring the live aspect of dub performance.
Right, that sounds great.
I'm inspired and I'm now working it in my head how to go about it,
Tony Allen did it in the mid-80s with one album where he got like some dub effects and kind of like dance element and dub. And it's pretty fresh.
It is refreshing because it's a completely different take on an existing set of parameters that have been created, And I like those challenges. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to actually venturing into electronic Afrobeat, because I heard Afro Rockers as a band based in, I think they're based in Paris. They did an album featuring Tony Allen on drums, and I really love that album. Woo! They did their lines were connecting, everything was on, everything was cooking, and I said to myself, that's something I would love to do at some point in time.
That's a little message to all the producers out there.
Yes, definitely.
Amazing.
Man. And but my school of thought is such that for me to do such a project, I have to perform it live. Get comfortable with it live before going into the studio, because that's the school of thought I grew up from.
Yeah.
Fela would play a song for years before he goes into the studio, and most of his recordings were one-take recordings with the full band, because he wake the guitarist up when he say play, and he will play no mistake, So but that's because it has become part of his DNA, it's embedded in his psyche, his subconscious, his conscious, everything. All those songs, and Fela will not perform. Once it's on Laka, that's it.
I was going to make a parallel with James Brown, but he did play all these tunes, but in the sense of like being very, very specific about how things should sound and like having his musicians rehearse until they drop.
Yeah. Fela didn't do that. He didn't really rehearse till the drop, because rehearsal days were Thursdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. And those rehearsals were for new songs.
Okay.
We never did rehearsals of current songs unless he was going to reorchestrate or rearrange, which he hardly did. Because it was always done on the fly. While doing the performance, he would think of something, and then he would either say to me, that section there, change the chords, ladies. Or he would just say to the horns man, and he would mutter out something in tonic sulfur, a phrase, a motif or something, because he could see the big picture. For example, he would write a new tune, and we would not see the picture until he brings in the horns and puts in the vocals. You can imagine, you've been given a part. Tonga, 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 and then the bass, and then boom, 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 and then the drums come, and then it grew, and you're like, whoa, hey, where's he going with this? Then he says, okay, horns. And you say, oh, yes. And then he's cooking. Oh, and then he says, okay, now, give me the chorus. And then he puts and then you're like, yeah, ooh, this man is a genius, man. But it's no genius. It's just, this is what he do.
Yeah.
He do this full time, and
So Dele, you become an ambassador for Afrobeat, both in the UK and internationally. You got the credentials. You played with Fela, and you've been musical director for all kinds of Afrobeat related stuff. And so, what do you see? Where do you see Afrobeat going towards? And as a performer, band leader, and just all around Afrobeat head, let's say.
I will go by my doctrine, my upbringing, Fela's utterances, his advices, that still resonate deeply within my psyche. If you're doing something and you're good at it, just keep on doing it and go with the flow. So I'm inspired to do new things, stick to what I'm doing, diversify sometimes. I listen to that inner voice and keep on, And I usually say, if I were to describe myself, the best way I can describe what I do and what I have done, especially to those people who just stumble upon me and I'm like, but how come I never heard of you? And I said to them, I said, well, when you go to Tesco and you want to buy wine, and you're not a wine connoisseur, you see, or maybe Asda or Sainsbury's or Costco or you just see these array of wines, you see the price tags, you don't even know what is what, and you're just looking wine, £2, £3, £5, £6, £12, buy one get one free, buy one get one second price, and you're like, what do I choose? Okay, then you see a Shiraz. Oh, Shiraz, I remember Jamie Oliver talking about a Shiraz. Oh, maybe the Shiraz will be good. And then blindly you just say, okay, I have Shiraz. Oh, Chardonnay. Oh, yeah, that must be good. Yeah. And you try it. And then when you get home, you drink it. Find it in poor taste. But then your mate that you invited to say, what's this? You know what, let me take you somewhere. And it takes you down one corner somewhere. And then
not in Tesco though.
Not in Tesco. Not a Tesco, not an Asda. Just one insignificant looking place. Mm-hmm. And then he brings out a case of wine from his supplier. And then he gives you a taste of the wine, right? Whoa! Hey, where has this been on? You will never buy this in Tesco because, I'm like that kind of person. Or I used to be like that kind of a person. I wasn't signed to a major label. I've been independent. I've been making decisions, artistic, creative, with my team. Or I've surrounded myself with a group of musicians that some of them have been with me for 18 years, 17 years, 15, 12, 10. 8, 6, and it's like a kind of family thing. So that unit, the minute I signed to a record label, an independent label, it was a bit strange after doing my thing for a long time, But now I have a record label. I'm just going with the flow, working with them. They suggest things, roll around my rhyme, readjust to say, I don't really believe, but I think, but maybe, And yeah, being vintage wine, I would love to remain vintage wine, not easily accessible. But then, when you look at the business side of things, you have to.
It's good to be on the Tesco shelf.
And sell in bulk. Yeah. Then you lose that. When because you're rare, there's a certain regard. Yeah. You'll be like, oh, that's a rare wine. The minute you become commercial, everybody is accessible to it. It's like, it's gone, it's sold out, But I don't know. I don't care. One thing I would do, I'll just keep on doing what I do.
Don't dilute it with other breeds of wine. Just keep it pure. So is there like because you're talking about these directions that you want to take? Is there something like what do you listen to these days? What's your kind of what's on your playlist?
Everything. I just switch on the radio and listen to what they're playing. Nice. But when in my quiet moments, I go back in time. I dig out a good old Errol Garner Concert by the Sea.
I got that one. That's a good one.
I'd go and listen to that man's chops. He was blessed. I bring out Father Earl Hines and I listen to what he was saying. Then I bring out maybe JATP, Jazz at the Philharmonic Hall. Norman Granz produced. Go through, listen to Ella Fitzgerald, Lady Day, Bessie Smith, Red Calendar, Charlie Parker, all them guys, And then
not the Tesco territory. Then you're in the fine wine shop, top shelf.
And then I go back to my roots. I go listening to people like Haruna Ishola, who was the instigator of a style of Yoruba music called Apala. It's all acoustic and it's all percussion and vocal. I get a lot of inspiration because of the words of wisdom involved in this form of prose and poetry. Was great. I used to get a lot of inspiration from him. So it's like when I feel a bit lost, I go back to reground myself.
Right.
Or I bring out I'll show you, I got something here.
What do you got here?
I got my goodie box here. And I recommend it. I don't know if they're still selling it. Anybody's treasure trove. Look at that. You see that? This is my encyclopedia. When I get lost, I just open this box.
Holy moly.
And there's all these.
Holy moly.
Fela's releases. Check that out. If you look at one side and the other side, the album covers are on both sides.
Oh my God, I need this.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see, I can never get bored of Afrobeat, man. This is all Fela's works. This, for example, look at that. That's the 60s. Wow. Kula Lobitos, that's the high life stuff. Black Man, They Suffer, Shuffling and Smiling. Everything is there. So, man, my listening, I never get bored of listening.
It's quite a lot.
And then my vinyl. I stopped listening to vinyl now because I don't have a vinyl player anymore. But thank God for YouTube. I type in the name of the artist, it comes up, and I click on play, and I'm checking out chops. I'm checking out, listening, So, but right now, I'm really, really listening to what's happening. What's the fresh new things in the UK? Because
a lot happening anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot happening, Laura Mbula, I'm trying to find out what Jamie Cullum is doing, Femi Temowo, quite a number of UK-based artists, you know, and just for listening to inspire my hearing, to see if there's something that tickles my fancy or not. Whether it does or not, it's good to be aware of what's going on. I listen to Eska. Eska, I love her. Eska is great. I listen to T.Y.
Yeah, he's great.
I listen to African Boy came out with some new stuff, you know. Terry Walker, you know.
Have you ever, because I know T.Y. has done some collaboration with Tony Allen on
Yeah,
some
I've done
tracks.
something with him. Sweating for Your Salary.
Right.
Yeah. And I still look towards doing a lot with hip hop and lot with people like T.Y., African Boy. I've not limited anything to, you know, anything I can imagine. I've said, that's on my to-do list. Okay. Once I think of it, I'm not sure. I've even imagined myself doing something with Jazz Peterson at some point in time. You know, I don't know what it will be. I said to myself, now Jazz and I need to get together and sort something out, you know. I've seen myself on Jules Holland, with Jules on the acoustic piano and me on another acoustic. Yeah, Jules, yeah, let's do something, man. I need to show you some Afrobeat chops, man. Come on, you know. I've not limited myself to anything. Once I think, I'll be like, once you voice it, and it goes into the wind, it's bound to happen sooner or later in your lifetime, you know. And so
we're looking forward to all of it.
And Battersea Arts Center, I am looking forward to that.
That's really good.
Wait till Battersea, you're gonna hear some grooves.
We're ready for this. Nice.
See you on the 18th